Hi again. Take two on the next one. It's me. Hi everybody, it's me, Lisa T, coming at you with some positive energy reading. The Language of Letting Go by Melody Beattie. Powerful, powerful stuff. Change, change, change. Nothing changes if nothing changes, you know? So, we are reading August 13th. Leaving room for feelings. Woo! I just said in the last video, practice, practice, practice. Like learning to own your feelings, learning to honor, not own, but honor your feelings is that's a real scary thing for me. It's something I've had to practice doing time and time and time and time again, to be okay with my feelings, to be okay with what my experience, to be okay with myself and what's coming up for me, and to be able to express those feelings without guilt, remorse, or shame. Just to be okay with who I am in this moment, as I'm showing up in this moment, as I'm experiencing life in myself in this moment, to be accepting of that and be okay with it. Got to leave room for feelings. Got to leave room, get space. My best friend, she always says, I can hold space for you, Lisa. I can hold space. We hold space for each other, meaning I can hold space for her when she's having feelings, and I can be there. I can just hold space for her to have her experience, and she does the same for me, and it's such a beautiful experience. We have a spectrum of feelings. There's this wheel I got one time, and I haven't looked at it in a long time, but there's got to be 60 to 100 feelings on there. There's so many feelings, you know, and life is all about like yin and yangs, and you know, if there's an up, there's a down. So we can't have sadness unless we have happiness. We can't have healing unless we've had some injury in some ways, you know, emotional or physical. So one comes with the other, and that's okay. There's a spectrum of feelings. That's the human experience. I've often said life is an experience of feeling. It's an emotional journey. I wrote a song about it. It's an emotional journey. That's what life is. It's an emotional journey. You're anticipating that new job, or you're excited about this thing to come up, or you're feeling grief, or like everything is about an emotion. You're feeling hungry. You're feeling tired. You're feeling elation. Like everything is a feeling. This journey is an emotional journey. So we got to leave room for feelings. August 15th. We need to allow enough room for others and ourselves to have and work through our feelings. Hold space. That's another way to say it. Hold space. We are people, not robots. My therapist, I've said this multiple times, and she's always like, Lisa, you're a human. And I'm like, no, I'm superhuman. I don't have to feel that. I can rise above this. You know, I never allowed myself to be human for so long. I had to be perfect, because to me, if I was perfect, then I would be accepted and be okay in this world, because I thought that maybe I wasn't perfect, and that's why bad stuff had happened to me. I played this victim role in my, in multiple years before recovering. So I'd also convinced myself, well, if I'm perfect, then maybe nothing bad will happen, or no one will ever hurt me. And it was a lie. It's a lie. Perfection is a lie. So we are people, not robots. An important part of us, who we are, how we grow, how we live, is connected to our emotional center. We have feelings, sometimes difficult ones. Feelings are not always easy. Yeah, sure, like calm, peaceful, serene, that's an easy, peaceful, easy feelings, right? But there's also tough feelings, and that's okay. The toughest times in my life is where I've learned the most, or I've accomplished the most. You know, like climbing a mountain, it gets the toughest right near the summit. At the first couple of steps, it's easy peasy. As you get halfway up, you're like, oh my God, I'm getting tired. And then you're like, I still got that far to go. But if you push forward, it's going to get difficult. But then when you get to the top, it's like, hey, right? You did it. So that's okay. With feelings too, they can be difficult, but it's okay. We have feelings. Sometimes it's difficult ones, sometimes disruptive ones, sometimes explosive ones that need to be worked through. They're just something that needs to be, a feeling is just something. The reason people need to go in recovery, the reason people get into 12-step programs is because they've chosen gambling or shopping or eating or drugs or alcohol. They've chosen something to numb their feelings. They've chosen to not feel. And so now when you get into recovery, you stop doing those things that stopped you from feeling your feelings, and then you allow your feelings to come and get worked through. And the beautiful thing is, once you stop shoving them down, they get to express themselves, and then they let go of you. They get to express themselves, have their moment, like a duck when it shakes it off. You know, it feels it, and then it shakes it off and moves on. But if you push it down, it's gonna erupt. It's like a volcano. It's got to come up at some point. So we work through them. By facing and working through these feelings, we and others grow. In relationships, whether it be a love relationship, a friendship, a family relationship, or a close business relationship, people need room to have and work through their feelings. People need room. People need space for that. Wonderful. I have an amazing supportive group of friends, and we all hold space for each other, and we listen and we hear and we try to understand as best we can, or just show up for someone, or just hold space. Because we're all going through feelings. So so people need room to have and work through their feelings. Some call it going through the process. I call it processing. I just need to process it. I'm having some feeling and I need to process it. I need to allow it, see where it's coming from, see what it's attached to, see how I can learn from this. That's processing, going through the process. It is unreasonable to expect ourselves or others to not need time and room to work through these feelings. We will be setting ourselves and our relationships up for failure if we do not allow this time and room in our life. If you don't allow people to have their feelings and show up for them, or you to have your feelings, it's gonna explode at some point. There will be failure. So you got to allow space for this. Allow this to happen. Allow life. Don't control and manipulate situations so that these things don't happen. Let it flow. Let it happen so it can happen and then pass. Happen and pass, and then you get to live in each new experience in the moment without pulling the past in with you. So some call it going through. It is unreasonable to expect ourselves or others to not need time and room to work for the feelings. We'll be setting ourselves up and we will be setting ourselves and our relationships up for failure if we do not allow this time and room in our life. We need time to work through these feelings. We need the space and permission. I've often said that. I now, it's a new language for me. I now give myself permission to feel, permission. I give myself permission to be imperfect. I give myself permission to be human, not superhuman. I still like to be superhuman though. We need the space and permission to work through these feelings in the awkward, uncomfortable, and sometimes messy way that people work through feelings. It's just the way it is. C'est la vie. It is life. This is life. No, this is life. I don't read this before I read it with you. This is life. This is growth. And this is okay. We can allow room for feelings. We can let people have time and permission to go through those feelings. We do not have to keep ourselves and others under such a tight rein. That's controlling. While we work through our feelings, we do not have to expend unnecessary energy reacting to each feeling we have or that others have. You don't have to react to each of these feelings. You just have to allow them, give them space. We don't have to take all of our feelings and others' feelings so seriously. Don't take yourself so seriously in general. Don't take life, it's all good. Laugh it off, let it go. That's what this is all about. We don't have to take all our feelings and other people's feelings so seriously while we or others are in the process of working through them. It's all okay. Let the feelings flow and trust where the flow is taking you. It's taking you somewhere. Everything happens for a reason, and it's a good reason. It is all for your growth, all for your higher good, and all for your evolution on this emotional journey of life. Here's your prayer for today. I can set reasonable boundaries for behavior and still leave room for a range of emotion. That's your prayer for today. I'm going to ad-lib and change that. Higher powers, God, help me to set reasonable boundaries for behaviors and still leave room for a range of emotions. There it is. Amen. Thanks for watching. Love you all.